Post to live as if I goof up, and I will. I can just edit it out. All right. Let me do my little intro thing here. Hello, welcome everybody to this week's episode of Good Night, everybody. As you can see, we are missing sidekick Steven. He got swamped with work, or so he says. He may pop in at some point during the show. We'll see. But if not, whatever, no big deal, because we have the great Al Iaquinta with us. Al, Raging Al is here. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
I'm so glad that you agreed to do this. I've been chasing you for a little while. You're a busy guy, and here we are.
I'm glad we made it happen. I apologize about the
No,
about the
fine.
crazy, but I'm not the most. I agree to do things. Like I don't say no to anything.
I've seen you on some stuff, yeah.
So I like podcasts. I don't know if my fiance wants to do something, if my family wants to do something, somebody wants to. I just don't like to say no to things. And sometimes I say no to like 3 things at the same time.
Yeah, I hear you.
I really want to do all 3 things, but unfortunately, there's only one of me. So I forget what happened, but I'm glad that you gave me a chance to redeem myself. I appreciate it.
Of course. I'm a big fan. People that know me know that, and of the whole team out there. Being from Long Island, obviously. Now I remember. I know I said we're going to start with one thing, but my mind went to this immediately. The first time I remember jumping out of my seat, and I've been watching MMA for God, Al, the Pride days. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And before, I remember it was illegal on Long Island. I'm sure you remember this too. Even to watch, you couldn't get it. They wouldn't put the pay-per-views on. So my friend had to send away like through the mail for DVDs of the Pride shows, and then he would burn them on his own on his own discs. So we'd have a library of them because we'd want to rewatch. This was like new crazy stuff. We were in love with it immediately. But fast forward years later, I remember jumping up and going crazy when Chris knocked out Anderson Silva. That was peak. That was so good. Now, were you there? Where were you? Were you part of the team yet? You must have been.
I was at that fight. I think I had been on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And I got injured. So I was out for like a year. It was probably like not too long after that I came back.
Right. That's right.
But yeah, I had just been like made it into the UFC. Chris was in the UFC for a while. I got to see his whole rise. We made our pro debut on the same card.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Ring of Combat down in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
In the whole rise, I watched him in the gym. I saw how ferocious he was, and I saw what a competitor he was. And I think there was a lot of people that didn't think he would get it done against Anderson Silva, but the people that were with him through that whole ride made a lot of money that night.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Put some dollars down on the All American, and
yeah.
Sure, it was what an incredible it was such a great time in the sport, that era of Anderson Silva, and then you got this young up and coming guy that is kind of like a fresh All American clean cut guy coming and dominating right off the bat. He took a fight against Damian Maia on
that's right. Yeah.
Days notice, made weight, cut 30 pounds, and then out wrestled and out grappled the grappler. Just, he was winning that title. He believed in himself. The belief in himself was incredible. I've looked up to him forever, and that was one of the craziest nights ever.
That was an amazing night just for me as a fan. Like, I just went totally nuts. I'm sure you must have gone completely crazy when that happened. And then, did it again to show it wasn't a fluke, beat Anderson again in the rematch. And amazing stuff. Because Anderson at the time, people that don't know, was considered like untouchable. He was not going to be beaten. He had the run to end all runs at one point in the sport and just made it look easy. I remember the fight with not Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin. He made him look like a baby. Like that punch going backwards, it looked like it had nothing on it, and Forrest is just waving it off like, no more of this. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that.
No, he fought in Pride. He
Yep.
really, not too many people really knew how good he was. I mean, he was a freaking monster in Pride, and then comes over. Chris Lieben, he puts him away fast. Just
Mm-hmm.
puts a clinic on against him, and then he just ran through everybody. He was the first guy. He went up in weight class. He was doing things that people hadn't done. He beat James Irvin, knocked him out, went up in weight and knocked him out. You know,
Yeah.
just and like his performances were just like, he was like the magician out there. He couldn't get hit, and it was until he ran into Chris Weidman. That was the first time where
Yep.
he he lived by the sword, died by the sword. He
Yeah.
hands down moving around, and that's how he beat so many people. But then he tried doing that against a guy like Chris, who was longer, stronger,
Right.
like just the self belief in himself was too strong that he ran into something that he hadn't run into before.
Nobody thought he could do. I did, but most people did not think Chris was going to go out there, and certainly not do it that way. Maybe wrestle him a little bit because they'd seen Chael put him on his back for the majority of the fight. So a lot of people thinking, well, Chris, that's his best shot. Chris is a wrestler; he's going to take him down. He'll do that if he does anything. Nobody thought the knockout was going to happen. But Anderson found the first guy that he just should not play games with. Happened to be Chris Weidman. He got it done. Amazing, and I'll always remember that night as a fan. But I want to fast forward now a little bit to, so you get the call. Now, I don't know if Ray and Matt call you or someone from the UFC directly calls you or who it is, but you get word that Tony Ferguson is injured. I mean, I don't know how this actually went down. I want you to fill me in, but this is what I imagine. And they want you to fill in a title fight against Khabib. How did it go down, really? How did you accept this fight? What were you thinking when it was presented to you? Were you on it right away? Like, hell yeah.
So it was April Fool's Day, and we heard that Tony Ferguson tripped on a wire and got injured.
Okay.
I called my manager and I was like, hey, throw my name in the hat.
Okay.
And I figured it was probably not likely, but and I probably thought that they thought I was just saying that because I knew that I wasn't going to get the fight anyway. So I kind of knew I wasn't getting the fight. And of course I didn't. They flew in Max Holloway.
Yeah.
So Max Holloway comes in. We weigh in. We do the media day, and the Connor throws the things through the bus. Michael Chiesa cut on his face.
Yep.
It was the craziest weekend. So the next day after the bus thing was the weigh-ins. We weigh in. I hear rumblings on Twitter that Max isn't going to make weight. They're pulling him from the fight. So probably Chiesa, I think at the time might have been ranked higher than me, but he got cut glass.
Yeah.
Anthony Pettis probably would have got the fight, but he priced himself out of it, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was just crazy. He asked for $1 million or something, maybe. I don't know what happened, but I figured he would have got the fight before me, unless something like that happened. So all these things I go downstairs to, I know where like the UFC, Sean Shelby was sitting down there, and I was yelling at him. I was like, from across the lobby, I was like, Sean, I'm your guy, and he was like, oh God, he hated me at the time. We were like,
Really?
we were like, we had like some argument.
Oh, Al. Oh, we lost Al. Uh-oh. Al, I don't know if you can hear me, but we've lost you. This isn't live, so that's one good thing. I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, here we are. We're back. So you and Shelby had butted heads a few times in the past, you were telling me.
Yeah, we were having, like, we got into some heated arguments on the phone.
Oh.
I was at the weekend, and we were reminiscing, laughing about it. At the time, he was fed up with me, and I was saying, Shelby, I'm your guy. And he was just like, oh, no. And sure enough, they gave me a call. I had weighed in at 155.2.
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't a championship fight, so you get an extra pound.
Get a pound, yeah.
Considerably under 156, which was good make weight. But for a championship fight, which now this was, it was 155 that I had to be under. My underwear, I weighed in with my underwear on, which weighed 0.2.
Mm.
So they called me and they said, bring your underwear down to the scale. I was like, oh shit, I think I got this fight. They wanted to weigh my underwear, so they weighed the underwear. It was 0.2. I guess, excuse me, for whatever reason, the athletic commission didn't like honor it, but Dana White said it is the title fight. If he wins, we're giving him the title. And yeah, what a crazy weekend. That was the craziest weekend I've had in a really long time. I think this weekend might be up there with it, though. I don't know.
Oh man, we're gonna get into that for sure.
Crazy weekend this weekend. I went to the Power Slap.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you there on the video. Yeah.
I went to Marab's fight. Marab goes out there and just freaking dominates. Crazy against
man. Oh man.
Freaking guy, man. That was like, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna beat that guy. And
nobody's gonna beat him.
You know, he wants to fight in December.
He wants to fight in December. Yeah, he's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. And then I told you I saw him. There was somebody had. I don't know if you were there. Somebody had video of him at like 6 o'clock in the morning at a nightclub jumping around, with his shirt off.
I had left. I was exhausted. I was like this. I'm so tired. I stayed for a while, and then I went back to the Airbnb, and he was still out there. He started training camp that night for his next fight on the freaking on the stage at Live nightclub. Yes, the XS nightclub. He started training camp right there in
I guess so.
10-minute shadow box is he's the best guy.
And then what time was Aljo's wedding? That was like the next day, right?
Aljo's wedding was like 4 o'clock the next day. So
man.
And what a wedding it was. It was like the coolest thing. I didn't know what to expect. It was at a golf course in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
The ceremony, it was like Aljo walks in first, then his brothers, his family, his friends, everyone, like, you know, like the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, and then everyone's like, oh, where's Rebecca? And like it's like kind of like taking a while, you know.
No.
And kind of like stands up and looks, and she's all the way in the back, like coming over a mountain, like on the golf course, like a hill on the golf course. So she like over one hill, then like comes over the other hill, and we're watching the whole time, and the music's playing. It was incredible. And the sun was setting, like the Vegas sun overlooking the strip. It was the craziest. Steve Aoki up showing up. The DJ Steve Aoki ends up showing up, plays, and it was like he did like a concert. Crazy. One of the
just out of nowhere, he just showed up. Does somebody know him?
Well, I mean, he lives in Vegas, so I'm sure Aljo reached out, you know, somehow of him and got him there. You know what I mean? But like, just insane.
Very cool. That's very cool. How did the team kind of come together out there on Long Island when you were started to go pro? So you had everybody in that camp. You had Weidman, you had Wonder Boy, right? You obviously, Aljo, and then Ray Longo and Matt Serra heading the thing up. Who did you meet first? Did you meet? I know Matt is a big character there, the big personality. He's been in the scene for a long time, both on Long Island and in the UFC. Big fan of his, and another big moment, obviously, in UFC history, his knockout of George St. Pierre, which again nobody thought he'd be able to do. How did that whole thing kind of come together, and how did you get involved? How young were you when you started martial arts in the first place?
I wrestled in high school, and I wrestled a year in college. One of my friends had been into UFC, had some like uncles that were really into it and got him into it, you know. So I was like a senior in high school, and I went to UFC 53, Atlantic City, 2006, 2007, it could have been even 2005. It might have been in 2005. Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. The main event was Andrei Arlovsky versus Justin Eilers. Nick
Okay.
Koji Oishi. This was way before Nate Diaz. This was Nick Diaz was just starting in the UFC. Matt
Yeah.
fought Cairo Parisian.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Crazy. So I went to that, and then I got into the. I was like, I went to that event, and I was like, I'm doing this. This is the craziest thing. I got to know what it feels like to be in that octagon fight, and the energy was just nuts when somebody got hit, when somebody got submitted. Just the place went nuts. I just that energy was like, I was addicted, hooked right away.
Yeah.
And then wrestled a year after that. Then I got into boxing a little bit, jiu-jitsu, kind of put it all together. Ended up I had a bunch of amateur fights with a different gym. Local gym was a Pat Miletich affiliate gym.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do that, and I just had ended up there through friends, but I knew Ray Longo and Matt Serra at the time. Matt was making his run. It was Matt Serra, Pete Sell, Luke Kumo,
Mm.
and Ray was running the show. So Matt had beat George St. Pierre, and it was maybe like a year or two after that I started sparring with Costa Filippo, who
Okay.
I sparred with. I was friends with Costa. He brought me down to spar with George Soteropoulos, who
Oh. Oh. Okay.
talk about a throwback. He had a run in the UFC where he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Sure did.
was on the Ultimate Fighter with those guys, and I would go down to spar with him, and then I saw everything, and I was like, this is where I got to be. Started with Ray, made my pro debut in the Ring of Combat, and then from there, it was all history, as they say, right?
There you go. Now, what did you think about? How was your experience on Ultimate Fighter? Because we hear some fighters love it; it was the greatest thing they ever did. Some guys hated it, and we have some guys that just kind of were in. Nate Diaz just kind of like, yeah, whatever, man.
I,
What was your experience like? You loved it?
I loved being on the Ultimate Fighter. For me, I had nothing to worry about. I was in this, multi-million-dollar house.
Yeah.
Had whatever food I wanted. I had the best training partners. I was on Uriah Faber's team. Uriah
Right.
Faber brought all the Team Alpha Male. So every day I was training with Team Alpha Male, and then my teammates who were 6 or 8 of the top prospects.
Yeah.
Single day I was wrestling, fighting, training with the best guys in the world, and I think that experience. Although I didn't win it, I still got a contract,
Hmm.
and I think it put me like 2 years ahead of where I would have been if I wasn't on that show. At least just the amount of experience that I got, the knowledge, it changed my life. It changed my life. I have no idea where I would be if it wasn't for that show. And I made really good friends with Uriah Faber and a bunch of those guys. I ended up going out training with Uriah and really kind of like getting involved in real estate and investing and stuff like that through Uriah. He was
Oh,
kind of like,
really? Oh, I heard you say that somewhere. That's right. Yeah. I constantly hear that Uriah is like a really good dude, like a genuinely good guy.
solid. The best. He's the best, and as far as as a coach on the Ultimate Fighter, I think a lot of coaches probably wouldn't have cared as much as he did, but he
Yeah.
cared and he preached everything, fighting wise and personal development and investing and just being a better human being. And I think that really changed me as a person and put me way ahead. Like I don't think there's people in this world that just wouldn't. It's impossible to be exposed to somebody like that for as long as I was able to be exposed. And the stuff that I absorbed, I think, is just priceless.
Well, it takes a smart person also like you to take advantage of that. Like some people would just disregard or not, try to absorb as much as they could from someone like Uriah when they're in that situation. They might, just take it for granted. Oh, I'm here. I'm only here to fight. But sounds like you took in everything you could from every facet of what Uriah was telling you, and that led you into real estate, which is interesting. Was Uriah? What was he doing? Was he flipping? Was he buying just investment properties? What was his angle that he kind of wanted you to get in on?
in like I think before the market crashed when they were giving loans out to everybody, he
Mhm.
bought a bunch of houses on the same block. It was like, he owned
Mm.
like the block, and and he rented the houses. He rented the rooms out to fighters. Like
Oh, okay.
he had like a whole couple houses on a block, and they would all train together, live together. He was renting the rooms out. If people wanted to come in, he'd rent the rooms out, and he was able to get the mortgage to pay for itself and saved up his money. He was fighting, he was making money, and he just kept parlaying that into bigger and better investments.
Mm.
For that, and I was like, that's the blueprint. I bought a house, I rented it out, I rented the rooms out, and I just kept doing that, recreating it, same way that he did it. And it's I think it's the best. It's the if he told he said you're gonna make a lot of money fighting. Don't buy cars and stuff that depreciates quickly in value. He said
Mhm.
invest real estate, stocks. I never really, but real estate, he was really, that's one thing that I got from him was like the importance of understanding real estate. I think it's so important. It's like you know, one of the most important things. It's almost like more important than like what you do for a living is understanding the value of real property. And
Yeah.
like you can make a year's worth of income just like by refinancing your house at the right time. Some people don't even know, like, refinancing a house. And there's just a million instances that are similar to that where like, you can make a small move very early in your life, and it can just exponentially have such a huge impact. Well,
Yeah. So you just kind of fell in love with the whole game of real estate, right? Like how long did it take before you decided when I'm done with this fighting thing, I want to be an agent. I want to have my own. Did you know it pretty early on, or was it kind of like a slow burn?
I didn't really choose the real estate life. The real estate chose me. I got I got injured and I had nothing really going on. I was like, you know what? I got my real estate license. I crutched into the course. I got my real estate license. And then I just kind of like started selling real estate slowly. I did 7 deals my first year. Uh, you know, was at the same time renting out rooms in my own house, looking for other investment properties. Really like, I got my own MLS. I was logging
Yeah.
on, and I was going, and I was able to see properties right as they hit the market. I was looking, I was able to put in my search criteria and see what was available at what price, what I could rent it out for. And if I split up all into 2 units, I can rent the top for this, the bottom for that. And the mortgage payment is only X with the taxes of this. And I really just kind of like crunched numbers and yeah, I kind of really enjoyed that whole aspect of like seeing what a property is worth and what it could generate as far as income if rented out
Yeah.
certain ways. It was pretty cool.
When I was young, we talked a little before we went on air. Um, my mother got into real estate kind of by accident. My father got sick; he couldn't work anymore, and so my mother was like, "Well, she'd been a housewife, but she had worked in like as a secretary and things in Manhattan when she was young. She grew up in Queens. My father was from Manhattan before they moved out to Long Island after they got married. And so she's like, well, I have some kind of office skills. What can I do? And she just kind of fell into real estate. She made friends with, actually, I know what it was. I was going to prep school in Stony Brook. And they had this thing there called the Little Red House. It's going to be a long story. I'm trying to make it as short as I can. But it was where like all the moms would do crafts and stuff for like fundraising and charity. And they would hang out and they would gossip. It was like, a little sewing circle, and she met a lady there that was doing real estate, and she needed to find something to do, my mother. And she was like, well, why don't you come down and try the real estate? Very quickly my mother loved it, and
Nice.
she loved because she was an aggressive Italian from Queens. She loved selling, she loved negotiating, she loved like just going out there and really aggressively trying to get on this stuff. And I don't know if things have changed since then, but they used to have what you could tell me what they used to call the uptime in the office. So once you started out, you go in the office, the real estate office, you work for like a broker or whatever when you start out anyway. And they'll give you like from this hour to this hour part of the day, and whatever walks in the door, you get that for listings if you want it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, she would go and I don't know if you had to do that, but she would go and sit in the office and like just grab these people that came in. All right, we're gonna do this. And all right, no, you're gonna price it at this. And here's what's wrong with that, because she had no qualms about just being straight up with people, and people loved it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she was giving them like the dead ass honesty about about everything, and
Yep.
ended up doing very well and falling in love with it. And at one point, she sold the mall in Port Jefferson, like the actual mall,
Oh
even
wow.
though even though she was primarily in residential, she got the deal. The guy just liked her.
Uh,
And I remember also like a lot of these characters. Like there was a guy. You familiar with Oldfield, the town of Oldfield? You must be, right. No, this is all deep Suffolk stuff, but it's like a real money area in Suffolk. And there was this guy who was like a connected guy, and he worked in sanitation. You know how it is. And he lived up in Oldfield, which is like a very ritzy kind of like super homeowners association. They don't want anything. He put two garbage cans because he was in sanitation. He filled them with cement and stuck them on the posts of his the gateway, the opening to go to his property. And the homeowners association went nuts because they were like, "Oh, it's so ugly," which it was, but whatever. But they wanted to take it down, and he brought my mother with him to fight the homeowners association because even though he was a
yeah.
connected guy and everything, he was like, no, your mother's even tougher than me. I'm gonna bring her to do this. So she had a lot of fun doing
Yeah.
it, and did very well for a long time.
Yeah.
And so and she just have to drive all over the place, show these houses, pick up these people and these contracts and everything. Is it different when you started? Did you have to like sit hours in an office waiting for like people to come in and try to list their house, or is it all kind of like online now?
Yeah, it's different now. There's not, we actually, my office does get people walking in. People drive by, and I think most offices don't, but I do get some people that walk in and they're like, "Oh, I saw you fight, and I want to meet you, and we got a house to sell, and I want to buy a house or whatever." But yeah, most of it's online. If
Yeah.
yeah, you can buy, Zillow leads if people click on
Mm-hmm.
still and want to see a house, they'll come to you. We have different platforms. Our website generates high on Google, so people they inquire through the website. That's pretty much kind of like the same thing now. Is like they inquire through your website,
Right.
and yeah, that's how you get started. You maybe do a deal with somebody with an experienced agent to get you going. I kind of just was thrown to the wolves, and I figured it out on
Oh, really? Okay.
way I had my broker definitely helped me a decent amount, but there was definitely times where I wish I would have had more support. But
Mm,
yeah, I think it slowed me down then, but I definitely like I got kind of like thrown to the wolves. I did have friends and family that were like, I want you to, they they saw me fight. They know that I have good work ethic. They believe that I could do the job, and they gave me listings probably earlier than most people would have gotten listings. And I just made it a point to work super hard for them, do
yeah.
all possibly could, and they all ended up doing really well. So I've never really messed anything up on the real estate. Usually I mess a lot of things up before I as far as real estate goes. I dealing with other people's money and their houses, and it's a big.
Yeah.
And so I always made sure to over prepare. Like my biggest fear was looking like an idiot, and I never ever wanted to do that. And I worked hard selling real estate, then went back to fighting once I healed up, and then I
Yeah.
was doing both. When I had a fight going away, I'd go away and I'd refer a lot of the deals or ask agents from that office to help me out. And then, my fighting career ran its course. I retired, and I always kind of knew either investing and or retail sales as an agent was what's gonna, you know,
Yeah.
keep fight after I retired. And I opened up my own real estate office in
I
my
saw. Yeah.
home, and that was about 2.5 years ago. We're rocking strong. We got like 15, 20 agents that
Wow.
that are really like solid people. I've got really solid people around me at the office, people that inspire me and motivate me, and I
Yeah.
do the same for them. And it's just a good melting pot of really intelligent, hardworking people.
This is kind of like a psychological question, but do you think that your love of, you already were loving the real estate game and you were doing well in it? Do you think that eased the transition for you out of fighting? Because a lot of these guys, I'm sure you know very well, they hang on longer than they probably should. It's hard for them to let go of the game. They do stop some of them at some points and they end up coming back when maybe they shouldn't, or they move to boxing when maybe they shouldn't. Because I feel like that's all they, not that it's all they know, but they love it. And it's like, well, what is life after this? Do you think that the real estate thing made that a little easier for you? I'm sure it was still hard, but did it help that you had something to kind of seamlessly transition into that could occupy your time, your energies, your intellect?
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a lot of similarities to being a real estate agent and broker as
Hmm.
they're writing. It's kind of like I always like career mode in like video games.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like career mode where you're like, in fighting, you win a fight and that brings you to the next level. Like
mm-hmm.
then you win that fight. Then you win. Now you're like a contender. So, and in real estate, it's kind of the same thing. You get your first deal done, and now, I got one deal. And you're like, you can go to the people in that town and be like, listen, I just sold this house. I can sell yours. And you get another deal. Then you make calls. You're calling cold calling. You get a for sale by owner. They you sell their house, and then they refer you to people. And like each sale boosts you up. You're like, oh, you're in this price range. Then you're like, oh, I could sell a house at that price range, then at that price range. And it's always like, I was looking at Ross Pearson, and I was like, oh, that guy's so good. When he was on the Ultimate
Mm.
Fighter, and I was still like a regional fighter, and I was like, whoa, that guy's so good. And then flash forward 5 years, I'm in the cage with him, and I'm freaking knocking him out, and
Yep.
I'm selling a $700,000-$800,000 house, and I'm looking at like, whoa, that house is worth like 2 million. That's like, and then a
Yeah.
couple of years later, now I'm selling houses $2-3 million. Like boom, boom. You know what I mean? It's very similar in a lot of ways, like that career mode, and I think that fueled me rather than like going to a 9 to 5 job where I was just sitting there thinking about fighting all day. And
Yeah.
in real estate, I was always looking to the next fighter, the next challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you gotten have other fighters approached you about kind of making that transition, asked you for advice now? Kind of like you could be their Uriah Faber. Have any guys come to you looking for wisdom, trying to get into real estate?
Yeah, nobody really listens.
Really? Okay.
Try to tell, but I don't know. No, I'm kidding. There
Yeah.
are people that definitely appreciate me kind of guiding them, and yeah, I'm always there. I learned from Uriah. I try to just be like that. The way
Yeah. Pay it forward.
exactly. There um a couple of fighters have definitely reached out, and I've given them good advice. I hope
Yeah.
they're doing well. But yeah, this it's definitely a good avenue for fighters after the fact. It is hard though. It's not easy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's you're starting back from the beginning. You're like an amateur again, which you have the tools and you have the blueprint to get it done. If you can get to the top of the fight game, you can get to this top of the real estate game, but it is like starting over as an amateur, and it's very humbling. You kind of think, oh, I'm a UFC fighter. I fought Khabib at the Barclays Center, went 5 rounds with him, and this freaking lady that has like a $1.5 million house is like kebab. She's like, what? All right, I'm gonna go with the other agent. You're talking about beating people up.
It doesn't care one bit, right? Has no frame of reference. Could not be less impressed with you as a as a fighter.
Definitely, it humbled me tremendously in that aspect where I'm like, oh, you ever see the UFC? She's like, ah, the UFC, but then there were people that were impressed, and that I definitely got some deals just because
Yeah.
they knew who I was and they respected me as an athlete, as a fighter. They knew that I worked hard. But then on the other hand, I had to know when to play that card and when to not play it. And in
Mm.
the beginning, I would try to teach people about the fight game and how how good I did when I was a fighter, and I could do the same thing for them, and they don't really. Some people are just not into it.
Mm. I remember when nobody even knew what it was. Like for a long time, I had to like explain. People would be like, "Oh, what sport do you like? Football?" And I'm like, "No, not really." "Oh, do you like baseball?" I'm like, "No." "Oh, you don't like any sports?" I'm like, "No, I love sports, but then you're not gonna know it if I tell you." I'm like, "I like UFC. I like Pride." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "MMA," and they're like, "What's that?" And you have to like spend 20 minutes.
Like
Now everybody,
is boxing, and then you're on the ground. You can submit the guy,
yeah.
and you punch him on the ground. Ah,
Well, yeah, but I remember when I first started watching, I hated when fights would go to the ground because I didn't know what I was looking at.
yeah,
I just want, I was a real casual, but again, this was like the Pride days. This was like nobody really knew. I
yeah.
just wanted the guys to stand there and swing at each other. Now, all these years later, I love when two high level guys are working the ground game. That's almost more exciting,
Yep.
depending on the fight. Like, I love what Marab does. I think he's so exciting, and he just doesn't stop, man. Like he
Right.
just, and he's laughing the whole time. He's talking. He's talking to Dane out if he's out there. He's talking to DC at the table, whatever he's doing. Because look, let's talk a little bit about this card since I've swayed us into that. So I have the card in front of me. I'm looking at it. A lot of good fights, but at the end of the day, the Marab's fight was just the most exciting thing on the card. And on paper, you would see like predominant wrestler, keeps doing takedowns, shoots a lot. Doesn't sound like the most exciting thing, but he makes it so fun and so exciting. And to do that to a guy like Corey Sandhagen, Corey's no joke. Like Corey's good, and he's good at what he does. I'm surprised he actually lasted that long. He kind of it. Some refs would have stopped that, right? When Marab almost knocked him out, he did get looked like he got flash knocked out for a second there,
Yeah.
and but they let it keep going, and then it's almost like I wonder if there's a part of Corey that almost wishes they would have stopped because he just went through hell for like another another
Oh,
3 rounds, right? How has Marab always been like this? You told me he's getting better and better. I can't imagine how, but does he come in like just on fire like that the first time you met him? Was he the same guy?
he's always been a juggernaut. He's always been just in great shape. He's always been a hard worker. The technique, he's just progressively gotten better and better and better and better. I remember even like as in the beginning, he would get mounted and he would just go crazy till he not really any technique, but he would go crazy to get till he got out, and that's something that it's so hard to stop a guy that just won't stop.
Yeah.
And that fight was just like it's gonna be I don't know who's gonna beat that guy. He's just got the craziest style. Like he's got a style you know that I think any fighter just aspires to, especially now that his hands are getting like that. The guy starts now thinking about Sandhagen's worried about I got dropped in the first round. I don't want to get dropped again. You protect your head and then you get taken down, and then you know props to Sandhagen. He got up. It's
Yeah.
not a guy down freaking 20 times because most guys don't get up 20 times.
Oh,
That's
that
the
was kind of amazing. Yeah, I definitely you got to respect him for that for sure. Yeah.
came in shape, didn't get tired, kept getting up. He was just out. He was just out
Just
skilled.
outgunned. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like I told my friend, I was like, Corey's really good. Fought an excellent fight, but like, what are you gonna do against this guy? You just you can't do anything. Like it's impossible.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
nobody. I don't see anybody beating him. I think he's gonna retire without being beat, and and that's gonna be
That's,
amazing to watch.
that's where things get interesting. I don't know if Marab's ever gonna. I don't know if he can retire. I think he just loves fighting.
Yeah.
He'll just. I don't know. I don't know what comes first. And he's the kind of guy that'll just keep winning to get forever. I don't know. He's in his mid to early 30s right now. He could fight for another freaking. He could 7 times 4 is 20. He could 28. He could be 30, 40 and 0 at this point. Going on a
I,
run.
I would believe it.
He's just getting better.
You'll have to get him into real estate eventually. Let him apply that to going
I
out
don't,
there and chasing those
I don't,
leads.
I don't think Marab's doing anything other than fighting. He'll coach when he's done, but
Yeah.
he'll always be in the fight game for sure.
You can't sit still, right? You couldn't sit still long enough to do real estate.
Nah, yeah, no. He would just start doubling.
Oh no, there he goes again. Uh-oh. Al, I don't know if you can hear me. You dropped out again. I'm going to pause the recording once again. As soon as Al's back, we'll resume. All right, here we go. We are back. Yeah, but what a great card overall, right? Like all those fights, amazing. I've never seen Emmett get run over like that.
I was in and out on that fight because we were traveling to the arena. We got there a little late, but yeah, for him to get submitted like that,
Fast, easy. Yeah, couldn't believe it. After, especially what he did to Bryce, I was like, oh, he's on a new tear now. He's going to go on a run. Just
great.
stiffened him, scary, and then just gets completely run over. It was crazy. Okay, now this is the really interesting one. Roundtree and Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry's such a weird guy. Like, what do you think it is? He just decides, like, well, now I got to pour it on. Time to win now.
Time is now.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, he just looks so like you don't even know if he gets hurt, if he gets hit, because
no.
he's flailing all over anyway. So I was like, did he get hurt or is he just flailing all over? And then he just freaking turns it on, and he was like, "That's it. I must."
It's like a switch. Yeah, a switch gets flipped in the Terminator, and he's just like, and even before the table said it, because DC and Rogan were saying it. I don't know if you can hear when you're there, but I was like, what's going on with his feet? Because there was something. He was like slipping his. Now I'm like, was he doing that on purpose? Like, you don't know what's going on in the guy's head, but it looked like his feet were wet or something, and he kept like touching them and sliding around. I don't know, man. He's an interesting guy.
Hurt his knee.
It was his feet at first.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and then
weird,
so unorthodox. Most people couldn't get away with that.
Yeah.
The way he fights, most people could, especially against a guy like Roundtree, who's just putting people out. And it's so weird, man. But that was a great. I did not see. I like Jerry. I'm a big fan. I like Roundtree too. I thought Jerry was done.
Yeah.
In that fight, I mean, and then he's just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll just put my hands up now and win. And he said after the fight, he was like, oh, now I believe that putting your hands up is good for defense. I never knew this.
Yeah.
What a crazy thing to say. Totally crazy. And then Ankalaev and Pereira. Were you out there watching that one?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Oh man.
Marched right across and just hit him with a hard 1-2. I heard him, he said after the fact, I heard that he had said that I'm just going to go across. I'm going to throw a 1-2. He's going to block it, and he's going to feel my power. And that was, just exactly what he did. And from then on, it was just freaking, crazy. The power that he has. It doesn't even look like he's hitting him flat.
No, he's always been like that.
Just freaking looks like he's just like made of stone. It's crazy.
I've been watching people. I've been watching him flatline people like that, and since Glory, since the kickboxing days, it looks like there's nothing on him, and the guy just is like dead, like nothing. Yeah, exactly. It looks like he's made out of stone or something. In fact, I think Rogan said something like that. That the guy's like carved out of wood. He just like it makes it look easy, and and as soon as it happened in this fight, I was like, I believe him that he was sick last time. Because he said he was like I was at 40%. I was sick. I had this. I had that. A lot of guys say that, but I believe him 100% because the way he just dominated Ankalaev quick was amazing.
I like I think when he lost last time, he didn't say that he was sick until he got the fight again.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't like come out like the next day. Ankalaev now he comes out the next day that his rib was broken. Before the fight, it's like you should keep that to yourself until you get the rematch, and then be like, okay, well now I got the rematch. My rib last time. Now you know what I mean. I think that was Pereira handled that way better.
Yeah, much better. I respect that a lot more. This just makes Ankalaev look bad because then it looked like an excuse.
It's like why did you fight? You the champ. Like what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have to. He didn't have to. If his rib was really broken, he could have put it off, no problem. What do you think about this? Is something I was telling you. Boss Rutan is a friend of the show. We've had him on a lot, and this is something I've asked him about because obviously his career goes way back. But what do you think about this era now of like everybody has to trash talk rather than the old days when there was a lot more like kind of martial arts respect. It looks like some of that's coming back. Do you think that the trash talking predominance thing now is good for the sport? Is it like, are you just indifferent about it, or would you rather see a little more of like the everybody being kind of more like Wonder Boy, just a little more respectful, a little more martial arts centered, a little more calm?
Yeah, I
I mean,
think.
Connor kind of started this, right? Like it's kind of his fault for good or for bad. So
Well,
what
that's it. I think people saw Connor doing Connor, and they're trying to be like Connor rather than being themselves.
yeah,
People have it, some people don't. But you got to find like you're like who are you? That's why Marab is the best. It took people more like if the UFC would have promoted Marab, they would have known like, oh, this is, I think if the UFC, once the UFC latches on and believes in you, then the world is yours. And Marab did it his own way. He did it. The more he learned English throughout like his career, the more he was able to like communicate how funny he like get within the people that he knows. And same thing with Instagram and social media. Like
hmm.
the more popular he got, the more wins he got, the more he was able to put that on social media, and people could see his like sense of humor is hysterical. Like
Oh,
those
it's
things,
so funny.
like he gets help with like the filming and stuff, I'm sure, but those ideas are his. Like I know for a fact, like that he's so funny, and he's such a kind person,
Hmm.
such an animal, and I
Oh
think that's
yeah,
what people should model themselves after. Like a person like Marab is like the model. He's like the model immigrant. If you're coming from a different country, like Marab came from the Republic of Georgia. He loves America. He
yeah.
loves America. He loves the Republic of Georgia. He loves America. And he worked his ass off. He got his citizenship the right way. He's now a U.S. citizen. Like he did everything the right way. He's a model, model citizen in the United
Yeah.
States. And I think that like in any facet of life, you can look at a guy like Marab and just take inspiration from anything, whether it's his social media, whether it is the way he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he works harder than anybody. He's there earlier, stays later, uh, and then he's just a kind person and a savage in the cage. He
Yeah.
turns.
Has a strong faith too, right? He's a Christian, strong. Is he? Do you know? Is he Orthodox or Catholic? I don't remember which. He's one of those two. I don't know if you know, but I know
I'm
he's got a strong faith. I think Ilya also, and they're friends, right? Him and Ilya, same kind of thing. And that could be very important. A lot of these guys keep them grounded, having a good sense of faith and religion community from that. Yeah, it's funny how things change out. Like my best friend is Chinese. He was born in China. His parents came over from China, got their citizenship. They're scientists, highly skilled people. He couldn't wait to become a U.S. citizen. He did all as soon as he was of the right age. He took all the classes. I was there with him at his swearing in as a U.S. citizen. He was so proud. He was so happy. Now people are like,
yeah,
they don't care about it. They almost don't want it, and they won't put in the work to do it. That's for sure. It's like
yeah.
everything the easy way, but then they don't. That's why they don't have that pride in their country, their adopted country, because it didn't like cost. I don't want to get political, but it didn't cost them anything to like
100%.
attain that.
I'm with
It's
you.
like
So,
crazy.
yeah.
But that's why someone another reason like you said, someone like Marab is so inspirational. It's like he
Um,
adopts that thing, and there's nothing wrong with, like, I don't know if DC was trolling or what, but I don't know if you saw that clip where he was like, I don't claim Marab as American champion. He's not American. I'm thinking he was probably trolling, but like there are people that think that way because Marab still loves Georgia. Like he can't also be American. The guy loves America, like you just said. It's crazy to even think that way about somebody like that.
well, I think DC. I mean, he's. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a gray area. He wasn't born in the United States. He's not like an American wrestler. So I kind of get what DC is saying in that
Yeah,
aspect. He kind of like portrayed it was maybe a little bit off,
yeah,
but he's definitely like a Georgian style fighter, but
sure,
come to America. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. You could say whatever you wanted. He's either Georgian, he's American. He loves both. He's Marab. Like there's nobody like him. So you can't put him in
yeah,
a just that's who he is. and he's an American champion with Georgian roots, and those roots are strong. He loves going back.
Yeah,
He goes back just about after every fight, and he goes back and visits the people, motivates them, inspires them. He's like a
that's great.
yeah. I mean, he's a celebrity here, but over there, he's like, you know, he's like
Huge.
God over there to those guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's weird how people selectively find like outrage. Like, are you Al? Are you all Italian? Mostly Italian?
No, a little bit. Yeah, yeah, mostly Italian, I guess you'd
Mostly
say.
Italian. Yeah, okay, so me too. I'm half. But it's like people don't have problems with like Italian people love Italian culture. We love Italy. We love we love the food.
Yeah,
Nobody has a problem with that. But for some reason, certain people from certain areas, certain others have issues. It's very odd. It's just like a selective. Like people just choose to be mad about
yeah.
certain things that there's no reason to be mad about.
No,
So,
I definitely with you. I think you pay homage to your heritage, to
yeah,
what
that's it.
and you love that, but more than anything, you love your religion. Absolutely,
Yeah.
more than anything is the United States of America, where we live, the Constitution, and the people that paved the way for us to live the life that we live. Because many people died to allow us to have the freedoms that we have, and
Hmm.
anything that's in this country is here because of them. And to not respect that and not follow the laws and the rules and the way that this country was put together, that's something that really needs to be changed and needs to be stopped immediately, because there's too many
Yeah.
country. You know, we have the freedom to, unfortunately, talk bad about the country, and the people that do, they really should just leave. And it's it, it it if they're here and they're not happy, then get the hell out, because we don't want you here. I tell you,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy. Marab is more than happy to be here. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're more than happy to be, if like, you wouldn't be here otherwise. So
That's it. Yep.
no marching bullshit. We don't need to march. We don't need to stop traffic and ruin other people's day because
Oh,
that you're, aren't putting the work in. But that's the thing that needs to change in this country is just get to work and shut the fuck up. That's it. You
that's
know.
one of the reasons why. It's another one of the reasons why I love UFC so much is because most of the guys have their head on their shoulders. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think it's because it's such hard work to get where they are. Whereas a lot of these other sports now, you know what I mean? These guys are like just under the thumb of whatever the owner tells them to do, and the owners are inevitably, like liberals and kooks and all this stuff, and so that's what they're going to spout to these guys, especially because, like, in like NFL and NBA, a lot of these guys get picked right out of high school. They don't
Yeah.
know anything,
Yeah.
and then the owner will just tell them, "Oh, well, this is how it is." They hand them buckets full of money,
Yeah.
and they don't know anything about life, and so they just start talking all this nonsense. Where the guys in the UFC, it's a hard road to get to the UFC, and you have to be disciplined to get to the UFC. You have a team that trains you, and obviously you know this much better than I do. But a lot of it is self motivation. You got to be the one that shows up. You got to be the one that puts in the work, and you want to get to the place where you're really earning. It's harder than all these other sports in a lot of ways, and so I think that grounds a lot of the guys in the UFC the way that it doesn't these guys in these other sports.
Yeah. I think the fighters
Mhm.
are more accessible. Like, you walk into a gym and there are regular people that are just trying to lose 5 pounds, and then there are UFC champions, and they're all kind of coexisting. Whereas guys in the
Yeah,
NFL, like, they're not practicing with like regular, people that are just trying to get in shape. Guys that do, like, after after work game pickup games and stuff like that. So I think that's the difference between the fighting and the other professional sports, is that we're level headed. We come up, it's
right.
not given. You're not, uh, it's definitely a different animal, and I think the fans appreciate that more than anything. Uh, I know I do. I don't know. I can't.
I do.
Football and baseball and that shit. I can't be bothered. You know what I mean?
No,
But
no, me
like
neither.
the fighting sports, the combat sports, where people are laying it on the line, and they're realistic. They're not freaking like shills and getting paid off to say this to say that. Yeah, yeah, they got
Yeah,
freedom to do what they want to do if they want
that's
to.
right. Well, that's like I always say, like whatever people may think about Dana this way and that way and money and whatever, he lets the fighters be themselves, say whatever they want. He doesn't censor them. He doesn't tell them, as far as I know, he doesn't pull them, aside behind the curtain. Hey, don't say this out there and don't say that out there. And I appreciate that. That's worth a lot these days when every other sport has kind of been co opted by people with an agenda,
Yeah.
and I love to see it.
Well,
Um,
Iaquinta rule. Dana White used to say before every fight, and the fighters,
oh,
Iaquinta rule is you were not allowed to curse on the microphone after the fight because I did tell the crowd to go fuck themselves.
oh, well, I remember. Yeah, but they were asking for it.
That was more the network, I guess. The network, but I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's changed even in that aspect. Like now, if it was the present day, he would have been like, I think I was maybe even a little bit before my time. I think back then they punished me because I cursed on the. They're like angry about it. Now they'd be like, yeah, tell them to go fuck themselves. Great marketing. Meanwhile, and they're like, oh, this is crazy. He just curses at the. All right, I mean, they didn't they didn't get it the way I got it. You know
You
what
got
I
to
mean?
tell him you're from Long Island. What are you supposed to do? Be
Hey,
somebody else? Come on.
who me? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, Dana's from Boston, isn't he? He ought to know.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of, they're kind of like second class New Yorkers.
Oh yeah, third, maybe third class.
Yeah.
The only time I ever got an egg thrown at me, this is true. I went to Boston the first and last time I went to Boston. Somebody threw a hard boiled egg at me.
What the heck?
It wasn't even like a egg that would crack. They threw a hard boiled egg from their car at me, just driving down the road. Like, what the hell is this? Like they could sense I was from New York or something.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
this place sucks. Got to get out of here. But what are some of your favorite things about Long Island since we're both from Long Island? What do you like? I'll tell you what I miss about Long. We already talked a little bit about the seasons. I miss the seasons. I miss the fall, the leaves changing and all that. I got to tell you, I like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I miss pizza, good pizza,
Food.
and then Al. For some reason, now you've been all over the country. Tell me if you agree with this. Nowhere else in this country, for whatever reason, understands what an egg and cheese on a roll is.
Yeah.
Why don't they? Why is it only Long Island has egg and cheese on a roll?
Bacon, egg, and cheese is,
Yeah,
and it's the water and the dough and the bread and the roll and it's the eggs, the bacon, the cheese, the motherfucker that makes it. You know what I
yeah,
freaking like love in that bacon, egg, and cheese. This
yeah,
ain't freaking bullshit. You know what I mean? So the the food is incredible.
yeah,
You got the South Shore, the beaches, the oceans, South the Suffolk County, Nassau County. There's a bunch of different beaches. Each have their own vibe. Each have their own, you know,
mm-hmm.
there's a different motivation for going to each or any beach that you go to. You got the North Shore. It's a little more bougie. Everything's spread out. You got,
Yeah.
the beaches aren't. There's no waves. There's rocks on the ground, but it's beautiful. It's a,
That's where I'm from. That's where I'm from, Al. Come on, take it easy.
yeah, love it. I'm not. I'm not. I love.
No, you're right though. It is. West Meadow was my beach we lived right near growing up, and it's just rocks.
Yeah,
It's just rocks.
different. You can sail on the North Shore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's right there. You know what I mean? It's a half an hour drive. You're on the North Shore now, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, totally different vibe, totally different rush. You could be in a different part of the country. You got Fire Island. You know, you can only get to Fire Island by boat. There's no cars. It's like a whole different world. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You
Mm-hmm.
take a 30-minute ferry ride less. I drive my boat out to Fire Island, dock up, walk on. You can't. There's no cars.
Nice.
Walk around. You know what I mean? The bars,
Yeah.
the restaurants. They got the South Shore. You got the North Shore. You got the East End, the Hamptons, Greenport. You
I
got
love Greenport. Yeah.
Marlboro, Crazy, and then you're in Manhattan. You're pretty much 45 minutes, an
Yeah.
hour
Easy. Yep.
way. You hop on the train, you get into Manhattan. With Long Island got a little bit more wits about us as far as like politics and policies go. We're not, we're pretty normal as far as like weird shit. The Manhattan's just absolutely bonkers, so they could
Oh
go,
man.
do what they want to do over there. We're on the other side, so we're pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I heard that Long Island went for Trump both times, but it's because of Manhattan and everything that the state swings blue.
yeah, yeah. It's very Republican. It's very, you know, it's very, very,
Conservative,
very.
normal people. Yeah,
It's
just
yeah,
normal.
my type of people, normal people. You know what I mean? There's no, and it keeps it good. The crime, Nassau County has the lowest crime rate of any county in the country. Number
I
one,
saw that. I saw that on one of your Instagram reels. I did not know that. That surprised me.
and that's not defund the police bullshit. Like, oh no, uh, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman is actually putting money. He's hiring more police officers. He's having
Nice.
these. They're paraded around and they're held at a higher standard, and that's the reason that there's no crime in Nassau County. It's a beautiful place to live. Like, crime is low. You don't have to. You're not worried here in Long Island. It's super safe. The people are nice, and we get screwed by the bail laws in New York State because
Mm,
and you know what I mean. So even if New York State bail laws were different, Long Island, Nassau County would even be safer because any criminal that commits a violent crime is released back into the wild after freaking 30 minutes. It's crazy.
terrible. Yeah.
But I think as as things get crazier in Manhattan now, this Ram Zam Dam Dami, whatever the freak that guy's name, gonna freaking bury that place.
Yeah, it's gonna get
He
crazy.
doesn't, and I hope I think I don't know who could vote for the guy. It just you hear the guy, you know what I mean. It's gonna be turned into a freaking war zone over there. It just doesn't make any sense that anyway. I mean, if I was like a loser that never had a job in my life, like the shit that he says might sound good, but
Oh yeah.
like freaking 25% of a brain, I can just see right that shit, and it is scary.
Well,
What the
they import the people that they want to have vote for them. That's the thing. That's the problem. So they bring them all in, then they vote the way they want them to, and then that's how you get that guy. Because I'm actually pretty sure he'll get in, and it's going to be like the '70s in New York all over again, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, the differences in the '70s, I think it was reversible. You
Yeah,
know,
well, yeah, Giuliani did a lot of it. He cleaned up a lot of whatever you think of him.
different type of criminal or different type of people that were gonna change things and make it worse. And I think these it could be irreversible damage that's done, and hopefully it doesn't spread. But it's a scary time. It's a scary time, that's for sure. And I think you
Yeah,
know we're lucky that um, I think we're lucky, blessed that can imagine Kamala Harris was the president right now. Like,
I can't imagine. No, I don't.
done, it will be done already.
Be done.
It's just a matter of time with this guy. But I don't know. I think it's got to run its course, run its cycle, and
Yeah.
get down to get built back up. And hopefully it'll be all right when I got a baby daughter on the way. I got
You do?
no end of
Oh,
November.
congratulations.
I'm like this. In the past I didn't care. I'd fight anybody, but
Yeah.
now it's like I gotta make sure the world's good for her.
Yeah.
And you don't want crazy. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see
I
what.
uh I have a little girl. It's the best thing in the world, Al. It's the
Nice,
best. Yeah. She's 4.
wonderful.
Oh
Yeah.
man. And I didn't,
I'll tell you, brother. I'm gonna tell you.
okay. Yeah, I'm here definitely. I mean, whatever I know. She's doing good, so I must be doing something right, thank God. But yeah, oh man, you're gonna be in love immediately. It's
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no question about it. It's the greatest thing. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, At one point I was like, do I want kids, and then like God knows better than me. Gave me exactly what I needed. And it's hard
yeah.
if you take it seriously, which I know you will also, but it's the most rewarding, most incredible thing in the whole world. And something about when you're a dad, you have a girl, it's like it's just gonna melt you. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Before I let you go, I got to ask you one more thing. This is a sensationalistic clickbait question. What did you think of the power slap? Is that your first time going to one in person?
No, I actually have been to one before.
Okay.
I hated the power slap.
Mm.
I couldn't stand the power slap. And then me and one of my friends, we snuck into, I think it was the first power slap. We snuck in
Oh.
and I got to see what it was all about. And it makes you feel pretty good about yourself. I'm like, thank God I'm not one of the people getting slapped, but I'm here for it. The entertainment, it's like the gladiator days. It's the
Mm.
closest to the gladiator
Really?
days where you know it's one thing where it's like a UFC fight, right? Because then people are defending themselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But power slap is like, all right, we're just gonna let you go in there with a lion and you can fight the lion. It's no, your hands are behind your back. You're fighting a
Yeah.
lion and you're getting slapped. It's like, why am I in here with a lion right now? Why are my hands behind my back getting slapped into the week?
Oh, man.
It's definitely something, and there's nothing that brings a crowd like a crowd. So they
Mm-hmm.
influencers in there. They got
Really?
and some of the NFL guys and the Vegas, anybody that's in Vegas that wants to see a spectacle is there. They bring them in. So that Fountain Blue was packed. It was pretty good.
Wow.
I was surprised. I was impressed. I yeah.
And
I
the training regimen for those guys is just like eating meatball subs, right? Like,
yeah, get crap. Just go out there. I don't want a power slapper that's trained. I want them to just get off the couch, get a bar stool. They're crazy. They're nuts. They're and they're just slapping each other. No rhyme or reason. It's like raw strength and natural ability to slap somebody's face. Like some people's brain, there's no training your neck. You just naturally, your brain just doesn't rattle the same way as other people's, and that's why you survive it.
yeah. Oh man.
Power slap.
Oh man. That's crazy. All right. Well, Al, I really, I don't want to keep you all day. I could, but I don't want to keep you all day. And I really appreciate you coming. I hope you'll come back. And
Absolutely, we'll do this again, 100%.
you know what we should do? I should try to get. Would you want to come on with Boss at some point?
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Oh man, he's so much fun. He's got the best stories. He's the funniest guy. Such a good guy. Such a good, down to earth, just humble, very faithful, good. But he's so funny, and he's still could take out 90% of people walking on the streets. So he's got it. He's got it in him. All right, Al. Thank you so much. God bless my friend. Continued success in real estate, and let's talk again soon. And when this goes up, I'll message you. I'll send you the link if you want to share it around anywhere.
Absolutely, we'll do, brother.
All right, thanks, brother. And everybody watching, thank you so much. Please remember to like and subscribe and share, and we'll see you next time.